show, and thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Aaron Hepler. Today we're going to be talking to a good friend of mine, Don Rank. Don is a member of the Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, and quite frankly, he's pretty high up on the totem pole there. You're going to want to hear what he has to say about good changes that are in the works for Pennsylvania, as well as the country, really. And Don is just a kind of a wealth of info when it comes to out of state hunting. So we dove into a hunt that he did with some friends that he met through the Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. We talk about the development of their friendship and what it really takes to plan a trip, especially one to a place as big as Alaska. It was an exciting hunt, and Don shares some awesome details about it. We touch on some things for, like I said, for regulation changes for PA, and a couple things, couple tidbits about Sunday hunting. So you're going to want to tune in and hear this episode because it was a fun one. Also, Don is a fellow healthcare worker, so we do dive into a little bit of that. Not much, but maybe it's something you want to think about. Anyway, enjoy the show. This is In Camp Podcast. On the other end of the line, folks, we have my good buddy, Don Rank. We've known each other for quite a while, but we don't get to catch up too often.
No. Usually we pass or cross path at the outdoor show or something like that for like a couple hours. That's about it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a worthwhile listen for the listeners here because Don is a big part of the BHA, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But Don, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Just maybe like your background hunting in PA, because you grew up in PA, correct?
Yeah, I grew up in the hunting and fishing hotbed of inner city Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
And
they got long deer seasons down there.
Yeah. Not where I lived. But luckily, my grandfather was from Williamstown, Pennsylvania, and in 1938 he built a small cabin on the land, and we've had it in our family ever since. So all of my outdoor experiences, basically, revolve around that.
Yeah, that's the cabin you still go to, correct?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's we have the second version on the ground right now because the first version was made with any materials he could beg, borrow, or mostly steal. And then when my dad was 14, he dropped a tree on it, and that kind of hastened its demise.
Yeah.
And so in the 60s, my grandfather and his brother-in-law spent their weekends going up there and building this thing by hand with no power tools, the hatchback, and but with it's made of cinder block and everything, and they put the whole thing together, and they built his brother-in-law's cabin about 75 yards away, which left the family for a while and then wound up coming back in. My dad had became friends with the guys that bought it, and they kind of outgrew it, and they wanted to get rid of it, and my dad was able to pick it up off of them, and now we basically have what my people call the compound. They call the original one where I usually stay in the servants' quarters, and the other one the executive suite, because my dad has made that really nice because my mom goes there.
Uh-huh.
So it's a nicer version of the cabin, but I've spent summers, weekends. Growing up, that was our vacation. My dad would have a week off, and we would go for the weekend. I mean, it was great. We've got state game lands, 210 in front of us and 211 behind us, and it was something I didn't appreciate how good we had it until I started speaking to people in other states.
Yeah.
About the kind of opportunities we have, but I still love going up there, and whether it's hunting, fishing, or just going up there and cutting wood, it's very cathartic.
Well, I guess you're going to have to make your side nice too, because Wendy will stop wanting to go there after a while, huh?
Yeah. Well, the only prenuptial agreement we had was that I never asked her to go to the cabin.
Oh, she has to ask.
And now she's got her own drawer. She's got her stuff up there. She looks forward to going up there. Our kids are getting older. She's like, well, now if you're up hunting, I can just go visit you on the weekends, and we can go up there. So. I'm kind of like a virus, and I've spread a little bit, and she's now she's into it, and she really enjoys it up there as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just a brief a brief talk about that. Wendy is Don's wife, and Wendy edited my very first articles that went out for Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. That was a while ago, maybe probably 5 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
quite a while.
I think it was like I started this 7, 8 years ago. It was probably around that time.
Yeah, you were pretty new, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
So we kind of go way back there.
Yeah.
But Don, what do you do for a living?
I'm a nurse anesthetist. I've worked at St. Christopher's Hospital in Philadelphia for about 22 years at this point. So
Yeah, so we kind
yeah,
of work in the same or worked in the same healthcare system.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
However it breaks down, but
yeah.
healthcare is just a. I don't want to say it's a fantastic job. It's a good job, but it is a pretty darn good job if you like to hunt and fish.
Yeah, you can really manipulate your schedule, and you get enough PTO time that you can, yeah, you can take advantage of the Wednesdays and Thursdays where no one else is in the woods.
Yeah,
I'm not
this
complaining.
is this is us doing our part to fix the nursing shortage.
That's exactly. Yeah,
Uh,
especially in a department where no one else hunts and fishes, it makes it a lot easier to get off during the rut.
yeah. Let's see. 3 days a week, self-scheduling,
Yeah,
12-hour shifts, good benefits,
yeah,
good vacation time,
yeah,
lots of
yeah.
money.
It's not a bad gig. Yeah,
Now, while
yeah,
you're there, it sucks, but
yeah,
otherwise,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's pretty
yeah.
good. So we just had to throw that brief bit in there because one thing I don't want to get into this too hard because we're going to get into it later. But one thing is you have had a lot of opportunity to take vacation and plan some pretty amazing trips that I do want to dive into a little bit tonight. So
Yeah, I've been real lucky with that. Real
yeah,
lucky. Yeah.
and I think it's related to all the friendships that you built through backcountry hunters and anglers,
Oh,
if I'm not
definitely,
mistaken.
definitely. I've developed a nice crew of friends, and we've gone on some pretty amazing trips together. Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you kind of we know a little bit about you. Why don't you intro a little bit about what Backcountry Hunters and Anglers stands for?
Okay. Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. Elevator pitch is we are the public lands advocacy for hunting and fishing. So we try to take care of public lands on many levels, whether it's on the legislative front or in just getting your hands dirty and picking up some trash and doing some plantings. We've had habitats work with a bunch of volunteers showing up all over the state. We also do some R3 stuff with we call our Take Two program, which started as excuse me, bringing two people on a hunting and fishing type of activity, whether it's actually hunting or fishing or checking trail cams or scouting or anything like that. And that has grown into that had a pretty successful run where we have a yearly fly fishing thing where we take people that didn't even know what a fishing license was in the
Yeah.
beginning of it, and they're catching a trout and a fly rod by the end.
Oh, that's cool.
And that has been, I think, last 4 years. And then the on the hunting side, it's just been kind of like sporadic. Adam Eckley, who is the current Pennsylvania chair, I don't think he ever hunts alone. He's taken so many new people out, like he's really grown it. The one of the first guys that went into the program, he is now our AFI coordinator. He's Andy Lehman. He's currently stationed abroad with the National Guard.
Okay.
But he went from just not knowing how to hunt, learning from Adam, to going deep into the woods, tracking a deer, and getting it all by himself, and then calling Adam, who was on a business trip, to to tell him what happened and kind of ask him what to do next.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of that, and then we do we're kind of like we don't do banquets, we do pint nights where we take over a business.
Yeah.
Kind of just gather for the night, and the idea behind it is that if you're in a room with 100 people, like 2 people may know about hunting and fishing and know what
Right.
you're talking about. You come to one of these events, everybody knows what you're talking about. It's a very friendly group. It's very hard to not walk out without meeting at least 2, 3, 5 people at one of our events, and you'll talk hunting, fishing, and I've seen people plan hunting trips, fishing trips, or just swap information and stories at our events.
Yeah, I've gotten to go to one of them. I think it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been at one, but they are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The Take Two program is so cool, but man, that's a task. Like you're giving up time. So that I mean that shows a lot of dedication to the people that belong to BHA, that run BHA, because it's no easy thing. First, it's not easy to teach somebody from ground zero.
Yeah.
Like I've done that a couple times, and they have to really want to do it, because you can't spoon feed everything.
No.
A little bit you can, because they need help, but it's not easy for somebody who is an adult to become a new hunter.
Yeah.
We grew up doing this stuff, so as regulations change, we learn the updates, or we learn the basics from our dad and this kind of thing, and probably already knew everything we needed to know by the time we were old enough to hunt.
Yeah.
But I mean, when this Adam Eckley, if he's never hunting alone, like that's hard, especially when it's a new person.
Yeah.
How about you? Have you taken a couple new people?
We've taken part. We did a pheasant hunt a few years ago. We took new people out, and that was a lot of fun because you can make noise, you can smell. It doesn't matter what the wind's blowing. And it was Adam was on one side and I was on the other. We just kind of kept the hunters in the middle, and we flushed a bunch of pheasants. Came home with 4 of them, and everybody took them home, cooked them up. It was a really good experience, and a lot of those people have gone on to hunt by themselves after that. So
that's great.
It's kind of a great experience.
I'd say that's the way to do it. I think everybody who I've helped get into hunting or fishing has wanted to deer hunt so far, and they're not like, oh, I just want to hunt. Where should I start? They're like, how do you say? Like some of them are like, well, I just want to I want to shoot a deer because it's a lot of meat or whatever,
Yeah.
And okay, well, how serious are you? And if they're not going to take the hunter safety course, I'm like, I'm not taking you until you're like willing to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that mentorship program that you can skip that part.
Yeah.
And I think maybe I'd be willing to do that for small game type stuff, but not for deer hunting.
Yeah.
Just because if I'm going to take you, I want to know you're serious about it. You know what I mean? Like at least serious to learn. Yeah,
it's hard. It's a big commitment on your part because you're giving up your hunting time.
Yeah.
But it's also really hard because people don't know the verbiage. Like there's things that we take for granted, like walking in the woods, talking quietly, just the way you move.
Yeah.
And just general knowledge thing that is, it's like you're speaking a different language to people, and remembering to slow down and explain why you're doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I've been scouting with one of my buddies that I've been kind of mentoring for the last couple of years, and he hasn't killed a deer yet, but he's getting real good. Every fall he's closer and closer. Yeah. He's missed some nice bucks already, but we were scouting a clear cut, and I'm telling him like, this is how the deer are funneling along this, because there's like this tree line that comes in. It's not like a select cut. It's just like a couple of edges that come together, and I'm telling him how the deer are going to use the edges, and he's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. He's like, you want me to put a camera in there? And I'm like, no, you don't need to. The deer are going to come, like, you already know they're coming through here. Yeah. Put it somewhere else, like where we can, that's tucked in a little better. We get some inventory in that aspect. But this is where you want to hunt. So he's like, oh, okay. So he's moved some cameras around. He's like, I'm getting a lot of pictures now.
That's good. That's good.
So like these are things that maybe you or I don't really think about, because it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's where they're at. So we're going to go hunt over there. But to a new person, this stuff is big.
Yeah. Yeah. But it also, there's a lot of like R2 programs geared towards kids, which are great.
Yeah.
But they still need someone to drive them somewhere and buy the stuff. If you get an adult onset hunter, they can get themselves there. They've got a job. They can buy their equipment, and they become the most rabid, like pro hunting people, because they're making up for lost time, and they also have an appreciation because they didn't have it growing up.
Yeah, I know this this friend of mine, I spent like 30 grand in the last 2 years. He's not spared any expenses though. I would say he's pretty serious about it. Like there's no quitting this guy. So he's gonna keep it up. But man, he's
Yeah.
good thing he had some cash saved.
That's nice. Other people's money.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What about your personal friendships in BHA? You want to talk about them a little bit?
Yeah, I've had some of the people that I've been on the board with or have since left the board that I've remained friends with. I think Nate Frank was the first chair.
Mm-hmm.
He now lives in Wyoming, so he's our unofficial elk guide.
What a bum.
Yeah, he's a wildlife biologist who lives in Wyoming, so we hit him up for information.
Yeah.
And Nick Long, who is now the treasurer, he's held like every job in BHA. And Chris Hennessy, he's like the Eastern Regional Manager. He was like the first employee of BHA that we interacted with when we put this chapter together. And he's from Pennsylvania. Like we went to Alaska this past year. I've hunted with either of them, all four of them together or separately. And we've planned trips, and we're basically planning trips almost every year for the next like 2-3 years. We have ideas sketched out. But they're guys that they're great people. They're really easy to get along with. They're a lot of fun. They're competent in the backcountry, which is helpful. Because that way I'd rather be the weakest link than the strongest link in these situations. Mm-hmm. But they're just a bunch of great guys, and we've really developed like a great friendship over the years. And it's I mean there's actually, I mean, like Adam's great. There's like a bunch of guys on the board. There's so many like good people. Like I could list like 20 people off the top of my head that I've had a great time with in BHA. But there's like those three guys are kind of like the core of my the oldest friends in BHA. I'll say.
Yeah. And that's so important, especially to the kind of hunting that you're doing, because it's no joke. You did caribou in Alaska 2 years ago, correct?
This past September.
That was this year.
Yeah.
What you went? Was it moose hunting?
It was. Let's see. Yeah, I've been lucky. I did Wyoming for elk 2 years ago.
Okay.
And then we did moose in Quebec on that was 2020. It was like right as the pandemic was still ongoing, but things were opening up by then. We could get across the border and things like that.
Yeah.
So I've been really lucky with that. Yeah.
Let's talk about we're gonna tell some stories now, and we're gonna do it in the middle. Let's talk about your caribou hunt, because I didn't get to hear about it because I didn't get to see it at the show this year. You guys looked like you had a couple of you shot caribou, correct?
We all did. We got. It was, well, first of all, Alaska is an amazing place. The trip started because Nate Frank was dropping off some deer stands that had been confiscated by DCNR. They gave to us to give to new hunters.
Oh, cool.
And he was giving me one to give somebody, and it was Fishtown, like in the middle of Pennsylvania, where we met in a parking lot, and I gave it to this guy, this Andy Lehman, who now is the AFI coordinator, who's like graduated through our Take Two program. And we were sitting around, and I was like, I'd like to go to hunt caribou. And he goes, I'd like to hunt caribou. And it was something I thought I'd never do, but always want to do. Mm-hmm. And we said, let's just plan it. And it took us 4 years to get there, but it was well worth it. And we kind of booked everything 2 or 3 years out.
So talk about booking in the planning phase if it took 4 years.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing is finding an air service and getting a place to land. So
okay.
There's some air services that are only open 1 day a year, and they go and if you don't call in the right time, they sell out. There's a lot of other bigger air services, and you basically book with the pilot to drop you off. Like we went. It was DIY. So basically, what we paid for was the pilot to bring us in. And we rented tents from them, so we didn't have to bring them up.
That makes sense.
Which helped, yeah. And you could rent like stoves and pay for food, which is basically just, instead of us bringing all of our mountain house stuff up, they had a mountain house up there that we grabbed.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
So we made the call, got in touch with the air service, set up a date, booked a week from to fly us in and to fly us out. We were supposed to fly out of town Kotzebue, which is on the coast, like northeastern or northwestern Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
We had a week before we got a call because the weather was so bad that people were getting stuck in the field like an extra 10 to 12 days.
Oh
They were
man.
shifting to fly out of another town, so we had to change all of our airlines and fly into Fairbanks. And from there we met the air freight company and had to drive 3 hours to a town called Circle, Alaska, which only has a road because it stops at a river and people take their boats there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Now, does a hunt like that, do you have to plan points, or is it a over the counter tag?
It's over the counter. It's changing, and I'm not sure what it's going to look like in the next few years.
Yeah.
But right now, it was just buying a tag for the area. It's buying a tag, a non-resident caribou tag, and just going to a spot where caribou was open. That was
Okay.
kind of where it was.
And are you focusing on like a migratory herd then, or what's?
Yeah, yeah. We were hunting the porcupine herd.
Okay.
Um, there's like 3 or 4 different herds, but we were in the porcupine herd. We were in the Brooks Range, the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge,
Very
and
cool.
the migrations are kind of like you either see a bunch or you see zero.
Yeah.
And, most of the week we saw zero. We saw one up until like the next to last day. We saw one cow, and that was it. And but it was the place was amazing, so it didn't really matter. Like
Yeah.
we were like, it's a place you can feel when you're in, like, not just
Sure.
see it. And it's the silence. It's the quietest place I've ever heard, or not heard.
Yeah.
You would hear wings flapping. You look up, and there was an eagle,
Oh
and it was
man.
like and then because it was that quiet.
Wow.
The water was the clearest I've ever seen because it's all glacier run rivers. So we spent a lot of time hiking. We were doing like 10 miles a day at least.
Hmm.
Sometimes up to the top of a mountain, sometimes up and down a river valley. Uh, we brought fishing equipment, and there was grayling there. So
Oh, cool.
the one day went to a spot where we could glass and fish.
Well,
So we would fish, had a shore lunch, and then and we weren't that far from uh, a river near us. So near camp, we went and fished a little bit and caught some grayling to eat in camp. There was ptarmigan around, and Chris Hennessy had brought a breakdown 22,
hmm.
and so we would go around and shoot a couple ptarmigan and have them for dinner. And
Oh, very cool.
yeah, it was amazing food.
Yeah.
No bears. Saw tracks. It was I would have liked to have seen a grizzly bear from about 500 yards right before
Yeah.
the plane, but
Yeah. The safe distance.
distance. But we did see wolves second day.
Okay.
2 wolves. That was my second wolf sighting. The first one I ever seen was in the Algonquin National Park or
Hmm.
Provincial Park in Canada, but they're no comparison to the Alaskan wolves. These
Oh,
things
that's
are
cool.
huge. It was a black one and a white one just making their way along the riverbed, and it was just gorgeous watching them for a little while.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Were they talking every night?
No, no.
Really?
That was we only saw them at the beginning, and that was it.
Hmm.
We had a black phased red fox that was coming into camp and trying to steal our food.
Of course.
Yeah, we saw him the first day. We noticed him because he was dragging a caribou skull across.
Oh, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
They're a little small for that.
Yeah, yeah, and but I think it's so hard to make a living up there that you
Hmm.
take advantage of whatever they can get.
That's true.
Yeah.
So for accommodations, were you like you doing a lot of connecting flights, and then when you got into town, are you staying do you have to like book a place to stay, or are you going straight to camp?
We flew from Philadelphia to Seattle to Fairbanks. Yeah, that was yeah, and and we those connecting flights. Then we got in a hotel in town, met up with the airline, drove to Circle. We ran out of daylight to fly, and there were some weather conditions, so we wound up spending the night in a abandoned firehouse in Circle. The woman who runs the local store, I think she might have been mayor, and the Chamber of Commerce, it all in once, set us up, said for $5 you can all stay in there. And there was a few other people waiting to fly out, the same people, just at different spots. So we basically had a party in the abandoned firehouse. There was people and there was 2 people had driven up with their kids just to go to the lake, and because there was no other kids around, they were playing with the woman's kids at the store, and they were doing a hot dog roast, and they brought us all down and they fed us hot dogs that night. So
that's so cool. Yeah. That's the cool small town part of these type of hunts is like you're not going to get that in Bozeman.
No. I mean? They just took us right in and took care of us. It was great.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And then from Circle, and then we went to the Circle Airport, which is basically a dirt runway, and nothing else. And we took off from there. Yeah. And flew into camp.
So you're tent camping with like wall tents or pop up? What kind of
pop up tents? Yeah. We had 2 4-person tents.
Cool.
Yeah. Or 2 tents with 2 4-person tents. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, 2 people in each. Yeah.
Are you staying pretty mobile, or you're setting up camp and then doing spike camps or bivvies, or what kind of thing are you doing there?
We set up in base camp and just hunted out of that every day.
Yeah.
There was plenty of room to glass.
Okay.
So if you went 5 to 8 miles downriver, upriver, or up on top of the mountain, you could glass for a very long way and see it coming through. So
yeah,
we're either going to be there or not, and that was kind of the thing.
Yeah, I hear that's kind of like what you got to do in Alaska, unless you're just moving the entire time.
Yeah, and so we were doing that, and as I said, we were seeing beautiful country, and just loving it there. And it was the day before we were supposed to fly out. It was like the 2 days before we were to fly out. It was like our last really real chance to go far and kill something and reasonably be able to pack it out and get it back to the tent.
Right.
And we had a river crossing every day.
Okay.
To get to where we were going, and we crisscrossed the river. And I looked up to the mountains, and we had split up into 2 groups of 2, and it was Chris and I was like, I don't care if we kill anything. This place is just gorgeous. Like, I'm just so happy to be here. Like, everywhere you look, it's gorgeous. And like, if we don't think tomorrow, I'm going to shoot ptarmigan and fish with my rifle. And like, if caribou comes up, I'll shoot it. If not, like, we'll just eat a whole bunch of fish and ptarmigan tomorrow night, and it'll be great. And we went another 4 or 5 miles and like sat down the glass, and I was getting ready to take a nap, and Chris goes, "There's caribou." And that was, yeah, they were about a half mile away, and we could see a group of them. We could tell there was a couple bulls in there, but we weren't sure exactly what was in there. So we put on a very loud stalk.
It's like potato chips there, isn't it?
Oh yeah. We were going there, and at one point I went to pull out my my bipod, so I need ready to sit up to shoot, and my metal trowel for bathroom duties fell out and clunked all over the the ground. They just kind of like looked over, like, what was that? We got close enough, and then Chris Hennessy had the idea of taking his walking sticks and making them look like antlers and walking towards them with it. And I don't know I can't say it didn't work, because they didn't move when we did that. And we got to within, I was like 230 yards from the one that I shot. We set up, and there was like 12 bulls just moving through.
That's cool.
And we set up, and we were gonna like time it out and whatever, but that never worked. So he said, whoever gets a shot, just take it.
Yeah.
And the one bull walked up, stood completely broadside, and shot it. It stood there. I thought I missed, so I shot it again, and it went like, I don't know, 20 yards and dropped.
Oh, that's awesome.
Chris took a shot, the one that was not that far from that one, hit it twice, fell down. They died 30 yards from each other.
Cool.
It was great. So so the whole time when we were cutting them up, we were talking the whole time, and first we celebrated for I don't know a good 20 minutes, jumping up
Yeah.
like kids on Christmas.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Yeah, exactly. And then we sent an in-reach message to the other two guys who were on top of a mountain hunting, thinking, oh, they can come help us pack out.
Right.
And, they said they were on their way, and so we started cutting up, each cutting up our own animal and getting everything ready and bagged up. And we got another message saying, we shot 2 caribou. We'll see you at camp tonight.
So cool.
Yeah, so they ran into a herd coming down, and they got 2 really nice bulls out of that.
Nice.
So we wound up meeting up at I think 10 o'clock that night. By the time we got back, yeah.
So I guess there wasn't backstraps on the campfire that night.
No, there was that was a mountain house chili and bed. That was I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And then the next day, we both respectively went to our sites and started packing everything out. And I covered 26 miles that day, packing out the caribou.
Did you have to do a couple trips?
Yeah. It was I didn't want to bring too much in one trip and just completely burn myself out. Also knowing that there's a river crossing at one point, and I kind of, the one thing that really gets people in trouble is water. So
yeah.
I didn't want to. I made the mistake of listening to Alaska Stories by Clay Newcomb on the Meat Eater channel. And there's a lot of people that almost drowned in Alaska before he went out. And I'm like, I'm going to be really careful in these crossings.
Yeah.
So it took us, I think, like 3 or 4 trips by the time we got everything back to camp that night. But we had the rules where we were is you have to either take the ribs out whole or eat them in the field.
Okay.
So we ate 4 sets of caribou ribs in camp.
Nice. How were they?
They were really good.
Yeah.
They were really good. Just roast them in open fire, salt, pepper, a little bit of seasoning, and just the meat just like fell right off.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. And the weather in Fairbanks was bad. The weather where we were was great, so we were stuck for an extra 2 days.
That's not too bad.
Waiting for a plane. So we just sat around the fire and ate caribou.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something you have to plan for, right? Like if you're going to do vacation, you don't want to plan for 7 days and you're going to have to be there for 10. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I told work that I'm taking all this time off. I might be back sooner, but I'm taking this time off because I'd rather show up early than have to tell them I can't make it.
Yeah.
But the airline accommodations you have to change on the fly. So Chris's wife Tina was in charge of our airline stuff, so she had all our information. So she kept changing our flights for us.
Oh, that's good.
And then we had to find a hotel to stay in because we had lost our reservation. So Wendy was gracious enough to call around hotels in Fairbanks to find one that has a freezer where we can keep our caribou.
Nice.
And she learned a lot about hotels in Alaska.
I'm assuming there are hotels that have that kind of accommodation.
Oh yeah, not all of them, but some of them do. Yeah. So we had one, and so we were able to. Well, the airline place had freezers we could use, but we weren't sure they were going to be available or not full or whatnot. Sure. So we wanted to make sure that we had our stuff. So we got back and we were able to put them in the. We deboned them. You had to take them out with bone in, so we deboned them once we got back. And then put them in boxes and put them in the freezer there.
Yeah, that works. That's easier.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all kind of stuff. If you're new to out of state hunting or hunting a big animal like a caribou or an elk or whatever, there's all these finite details that people just like. Oh, I'm just gonna go hunt elk.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not.
No.
And
you better not kill one if that's your attitude.
Right. Because I mean, fortunately. When I did an elk hunt, like I kind of had an idea of some stuff. I mean, when it's your first one, obviously you're not going to get all the things right. Yeah. But those are important things. Like you got to think about the meat. You can't be like, I'll worry about it when I get there. I got to shoot one first. Like, well, you're going to lose it if you don't plan that. Yeah. You know, like you're kind of against the clock once you shoot one, especially if you're hunting elk in September or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's a big
And
responsibility.
yeah, so having somebody like all your family at
Yeah,
home
yeah,
is important because you might need them. Like
yeah,
my wife ended up, and I want to know what you did for this, but my wife, I had planned on if I had too much stuff in my truck. There was no way we were fitting an elk in my truck,
yeah,
even one. So I was like, well, if we kill one, we'll get like a small U-Haul, and if we kill two, we'll get a bigger one, you know.
yeah,
And I looked at U-Haul dealers in Fort Collins, where the city that we were like kind of close to, like an hour away from,
yeah,
essentially. And I was like, well, there are plenty of there's like 50 of them. You know, I'll get one no problem.
yeah,
Well, the only one that was actually close enough to drive to, like that wasn't like an hour away, because I mean, it's a pretty big city. You know,
yeah.
the closest one was only open until like 6 p.m. on Saturday,
Oh,
and our guide only picked us up at 10.
oh,
So the guy's like, "Well, I don't open until noon on Sunday,
yeah,
and we're hoping to like stay the night,
yeah,
pick up the meat, pick up the head on Sunday, and drive home."
yeah,
Because when I did a drop camp, so the guides after I killed, it was like DIY, but the guides, you
yeah,
know, they come in and pick up the meat and the head, and they take it to, you know, I didn't want to have it processed. I wanted to do it
yeah.
on my own.
Mhm.
So I quartered and sent it there, had them put it in a deep freeze, and then there was a taxidermist that they used that just like would blow the brains out for you
Yeah,
to stay in regulations with CWD and this kind of thing. And I'm, you know, our guides are taking forever. They're like, oh, we'll be there in the morning. Well, there was snow overnight,
uh,
and then they're like, they text us in the morning. Uh, we're gonna pack out the entire camp because nobody's going to that one for the rest of the season. I'm like, great. Now we gotta pack out. We're doing these
yeah,
guys' job, whatever.
yeah,
So, which in any other time, I would have probably been excited to do that. Like, oh, cool, we get to see like
yeah.
you know tearing down wall tent and
Oh,
all this
yeah,
stuff, you know. But I'm like, I gotta go, man.
yeah, yeah,
But my wife booked us this U-Haul because I couldn't get them on our satellite phone.
mhm,
It was still too scratchy with the bad weather coming in or whatever. And I was able to text her with I was using as a Leo. I didn't use the InReach, and
mhm.
quite honestly, that thing works real well.
Yeah,
And she ended up getting us a U-Haul. And this guy's like, well, it's only open till this time. Dude, I mean, we got back to the trucks at 4:30, 4:45, and we have to get to the U-Haul place by 6, and it's an hour and a half away.
oh, yeah,
And I'm like, so I was flying. I'm
yeah,
like, I'm doing 50 on dirt roads, you know.
yeah,
And because I drove there with two of the guys that we were with, and the other guy flew, but he was riding to the, I don't remember. He wanted us to drop him off at the airport before we,
mhm,
or at the bus station. He was taking a bus station to the airport, and we drop him off, and we had 3 minutes to get to the U-Haul place, and the guy was about to lock the door, and I'm like, no, I'm here, and he's like, oh, good, I was hoping you'd make it, you know. Like, so this is this stuff that people don't think about. I could have had my meat shipped, you
yeah,
know, but then you got to think about the added expense. Like it's
yeah,
not cheap to
yeah,
ship an animal
yeah,
home, and that's not something you want to do when you're there. Try to figure out how to ship meat, unless you're using a drop camp. The guides could have
yeah.
figured that out for me or whatever. Um,
But that's nerve wracking too, because you're worried about the meat. Like that was my, I like grizzly bears, river crossings. Yes, I was nervous about stuff like that. But what I was
sure.
really nervous about was getting the meat home. Like that
Yeah.
was my number one thing, because I would rather not go than kill an animal and waste the meat.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, yeah, of course you want to bring horns home, but
Yeah.
like, man, that's like, that's some precious stuff, man.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's delicious. Like,
Yeah.
it's not something you want to lose any of.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, but there's other things too, like, uh, the, the processor that they used
Yeah.
was was disgusting.
Ugh.
They were chickens running around under the meat. There were dogs licking it. Like, oh, dude, I was like, whew.
That's
I'm
right.
glad. Yeah, I was like, damn, I said, because I told him, I was like, don't even take it out of the game bags.
Yeah.
I didn't know that this place was like that.
Yeah.
I just told the guide. He's like, well, they're gonna want to process it. I'm like, nope. I called them before I came,
Yeah.
because he said they required it to be processed. And I'm like, I called them,
Yeah.
and they said they would store it. And he's like, well, they told me they won't do that. And I'm like, they told me that
Yeah.
they would, and it cost this much. So
Yeah.
tell them not to take it out of the game bags, and
Yeah.
don't you dare.
Yeah. Yeah.
You follow. I'm paying for you to do
Yeah.
this, so you take it there, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, that's no problem, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I got there, I was like, holy crap!
Yeah.
Thank goodness I was like very adamant about that, because if I would have went there and picked it, I would have been like,
Yeah.
you can have that elk.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I like doing my own butchering, because I know when I serve these people food, I'm the only human that has touched it before I hand it to them.
Exactly.
That's the only,
And it's not that they weren't nice people; they were super nice people. It's just I'm pretty sure they didn't OSHA hadn't visited their shop for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's if you're in the butcher shop industry, I'm sure you do a really good job cleaning your stuff. There are some phenomenal deer processing places in Pennsylvania are fantastic. I mean, super clean, but I think they're very regulated, you know. And there is a lot of hunters in PA, so I hope that these places get the type of revenue that they need. I'm sure they do, because not a lot of people like to do their own processing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've read that they're getting so much business that some places are just at a certain point stop taking deer.
Yeah, they do, because there's a lot of there's so many regulations now. Like if you call a place, let's say I don't feel like grinding my 40 pounds of meat that night.
Yeah.
And I call the butcher shop down the street who doesn't normally do deer processing. I'll say, hey, I got 40 pounds of deer. Can you grind for me? And they'll say, if you come 30 minutes before closing, I can grind it for you. Because they have to, if they put deer through their grinder, they have to clean the entire thing and all the little pieces and parts before they can do anything else.
Yeah.
So they won't do deer until the end of the day.
Oh.
So they're like, that's one of the things is like some of these places aren't even taking deer anymore, because you almost have to have like a kosher setup to do that.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, that's I think why some of these places are very specific. Like they only do deer or you know, specialty things during off season or whatever.
Yeah.
How did you get your meat home?
We put it in called salmon boxes, and they're basically foil lined boxes that they ship salmon in, and or fish boxes, whatever they're called. And we basically wrapped all the meat in plastic wrap, got it bagged up, and then put it in the boxes and froze it in the boxes. And then we took it to the airport, and Air Alaska has a freezer that they'll keep your meat in while you're waiting.
Cool.
In Alaska, anyway. And so we checked in. They put the stuff in the freezer, put it in the plane, and then we were waiting at the baggage carousel for our meat to come out. Which I'm not gonna lie, that's nerve wracking, because you're like, oh, I hope it stayed cold. It'll be cold. We got back to let's see. Nate flew back to Wyoming with his, but Nick and Chris had picked me up because they both live more towards the center of the state. And we got back to my house to drop me off, and first thing they did was open one up and make sure it was still frozen. And it was still frozen. It was great. So
that's awesome.
So we put theirs in coolers. I threw mine in. I threw all my stuff in my freezers, and then dealt with it over the next couple of days, getting it properly processed.
Yeah, I'd almost rather lose my whole bag of clothes than lose a cooler of meat.
Yeah, it's easier to replace camo than a caribou.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yeah.
Did you do a skull mount? Did you get it shoulder mounted? What are you doing with it?
I just took the antlers. That's all I did, and I'm gonna put them on the wall of the cabin.
Did you skull cap it?
Yeah, no, I just cut them off and took it. I'm gonna do them across I'm gonna do them across by the fireplace
That's cool.
over there. Yeah, because it's so big that I don't know if I had enough room to put it anywhere. It was kind of
They're
yeah,
huge.
yeah. They are just really big. Everybody else they're doing Euro mounts. Took
Yeah.
them. I think Nick took the hide and was getting that tanned.
That's kind of cool.
Really
They're beautiful animals.
Yeah, they're beautiful animals. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not like an elk. Elk stink.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
smell bad.
It's a really it's like a thick, luxurious coat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
It wasn't,
very,
and it was like fall weather. It wasn't.
yeah. It's kind of fluffy.
Yeah. 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 It was really cool.
Do they smell like elk? Do they smell like that?
No, I mean, I didn't. They didn't like. They weren't like stinky like an elk. They were more like a deer. You think?
Okay.
Yeah, like that when
Yeah.
a much bigger version of it. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if people are on the other end haven't ever gotten close to an elk or gotten downwind of an elk, there's no mistaking there's one close by.
Yeah.
You know, they smell like a goat. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like you're in a or in a barn full of goats. They're potent.
Yeah.
So, what was the first thing you made when you got home?
Backstrap. Yeah, just backstrap. I was just wanted to get that. Yeah, I wanted to start with something nice, but
Yeah.
I've cooked. I bought a what was it? A Scandinavian cookbook
Oh, cool.
because they do caribou. So I'm trying to do things like find thing, and I've done a few recipes out of that.
Yeah.
One is it's a Sami recipe, and it's frozen deer shoulder, frozen reindeer shoulder.
Okay.
The reason you don't defrost it, you keep it frozen, and you cut it in thin slices.
Okay.
Throw it in the pan and cook it up and make it with a sauce, and that's delicious.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah. It also you don't have to plan because you don't have to defrost it, which makes it easier if you forget.
Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of nice.
Yeah.
What kind of physical prep did you do before you went? Did you feel like you needed it? I don't know. What's the elevation there?
Elevation, it wasn't that high.
Yeah.
Everyone was. It's not like the West.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of walking, and it was a lot of walking on gravel and tussocks, which are like hairy basketballs.
Yeah.
And then like some boggy areas where it's like walking in a bounce house.
Yeah.
Sorta. So I just basically I kind of like prep. I'm always prepping for hunting season.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like I do something a little different. Like at the end of hunting season, it's a recovery mode, but I just ramp up cardio and do a bunch of rucking. Like I keep a pack with 40 pounds of weight in it in my car,
Perfect.
and a couple times a week after work, I'll just go for a hike for an hour on my way home.
That's great.
And get some stuff in, and then normal gym stuff. But it was I basically trained like I was going for an elk hunt.
That's great.
Yeah, and I really needed it because it was even without the elevation. Like the one time going up went up the top of a mountain the second day, and Nate is like a mountain goat. Like he flies up mountains. So he's just going up. I said,
Oh, he's got high blood volume now.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah. I was like, Nate, I'll meet you at the top. I'll get there, but I'm not going to try to keep up with you because I'm going to get hurt if I try to keep up with you.
Yeah.
Because we were hunting with him in Wyoming the year before, and we had heard some elk. We knew they were in this timber. We were like watching, waiting for it to come out. And while we were waiting, Nate said, I'm going to go see if there's anything on the other side of that mountain. We're like, okay. And we turn, and he's halfway up the mountain, like before we blink.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, he's been slowing down for us.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I met him one time at one of the pint nights, and I think a couple times at the outdoor show.
Yeah.
And then that was shortly before he moved out there.
Yeah. So like I tried to keep up the one day, and I torqued my knee that second day, and I was hurting me for the rest of the week. I could keep going, but by the end of the day, bending my leg was a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
But it was nothing that was going to slow me down. But most of the training is just a lot of rucking, really.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So we're going to make kind of a little bit of a hard transition because I want to get back to some of the...
Can I make one point about
Yeah.
planning these trips?
Do it.
Pick your people, because that can make or break your trip. Like these 3 guys that I went with were amazing, and we had a bunch of hiccups along the way, and we just rolled with the punches and kept going. And Nick and I just kept looking at each other from about a year out, we were like, are we really going to go to Alaska? We're really going to do this?
Yeah.
And we get there like, we're really doing this. I can't believe we're really doing this.
Well, I guess that was my point in asking about the friendships through BHA, and it's not, you can't just, sometimes your best friend is not going to be your best hunting partner.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's just how it is. And maybe your best friend doesn't, they might have the same passion about it as you, but they don't have the same ideas about how to go about it as you or whatever. Hunting partners are something that will come and go, and eventually you'll find the ones that really are solid, but they are super important.
Oh yeah.
To a unsuccessful hunt as well as a successful hunt.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't mind. Everybody that I hunt with is okay with not killing something because they're just having a good time doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that some of them don't get irritated by, we're not seeing any deer, or we're not catching any fish yet, or whatever. You know, some of them are a little bit less patient, but then it kind of becomes a little bit funny because they're like, okay, I know, I'm being irritable, whatever. But if they don't grind the same way you do, that's tough. And then the other thing that can be difficult is if they aren't okay with you having a different viewpoint. Yeah. Like, I'm going to go do this. I'm fine if you go do your thing. Yeah. And then we'll meet back in the middle. If they're not cool with that, it's going to be hard. Yeah. Unless you're that way too and you think along the exact same lines, but you need to know that before you go.
Oh yeah. 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 You're not getting in a car and going home. Yeah.
No. So, that being said, Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, there's some big stuff going on. We don't have to talk about large scale, but I do want to talk about maybe what is directly affecting Pennsylvania, or what are things on the table right now, Don?
Yeah. Well, we've been fighting the Sunday hunting battle since I got on the board. Yeah. And we've gotten up to 3 days. Right now, there's the bill again, Senate Bill 67, which would open up allow the Game Commission to regulate all the Sundays, not only 3. Mm-hmm. We've been fighting that battle for a number of years. The Pennsylvania chapter puts all their money that they make into legislative advocacy. Mm-hmm. We've hired a lobbyist, John Klein, who is in Harrisburg every single day, walking the halls. Oh, wow. And then on top of that, board members go a few times each session. I usually go like once or twice a session and kind of go to meetings and kind of talk to legislators to get support for the bills, find out what's gonna stop it and things like that. And think all the sausage making stuff that is not pretty but has to get done. That's the big one right now, because access is our big thing, and access isn't just a piece of land; it's also a rule that says you can't hunt on a certain day. Right. So that's the big one that we've been pushing. There's been
I'm sorry, what was that bill again?
Senate Bill 67.
Okay.
There's it's Senator Laughlin's bill, and there's another bill in the House, HB 851, that Representative Steele has. Speaking to the representative and speaking to a bunch of other senators, we think Senate Bill 67 is the one that's going to be the vehicle. That's going to be the one that gets pushed through. Okay. For this. And I've said this before, but this time I really mean it. This is the most optimistic I've been about getting this done this year.
Well, every year you guys have gotten closer or made some kind of ground. It's just breaking it down.
Yeah, and it's been like a war of attrition, and just a matter of just keep showing up and keep talking to people, and then finding out what the roadblocks are, which can be a number of things. It could just be if we have a Democratic House and a Republican Senate, getting one bill from one chamber to the other can be just a matter of which party leaders are going to let bills go through, and they trade for different bills. Right. There's another bill that we doesn't have a number yet, but it's going to come out. We had supported it last year, and it would allow full-time college students in Pennsylvania that are out of state college students, to buy a hunting license in Pennsylvania at the resident rate for 4 years.
That would be great.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the number one demographic where we lose people.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to like buy ramen noodles to eat to live off of, you're not going to be able to afford an out-of-state license, even though it's pretty inexpensive. But like for a full-time student, could be rough.
Yeah, a full-time student that's working as a barista at Starbucks,
exactly.
You can't do it.
Yeah, whereas a resident hunting license is pretty cheap, and especially with all you get for it.
Yeah.
Without any extra tags, you get but 2 turkeys, a deer, and all the small
PA has probably the most inexpensive licenses ever.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, I think that we could afford to up some non-resident prices.
Yeah.
Our deer herd is giant.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Our hunter numbers are giant too, but our deer herd just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah.
And Pennsylvania is, I don't love saying this, but Pennsylvania is becoming a larger buck state compared to what it used to be.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be long. I mean, we have so much public land.
Yeah. Oh, God.
For East Coast, it's a lot.
Oh, well, I talk to people like in Montana, Wyoming, when I'm at a BHA event, and I tell them how much public land they have, and they're shocked. No one thinks we have this. And also, I mean, Pennsylvania, it has a unique. It's not the only place that has a system, but we have a pretty special system here with our game lands. Like there's a lot of places that just
it's easy,
private, and it's so easy.
It's so easy. I mean, like between state forests and state game lands, like there's so many options. I mean, there's different things that could be maybe a little bit better on state. Like sometimes there's things that aren't clear in hunting regulations. Like if you look in the book, it's not really clear if you can pack a bear out. You gotta call to get that, and that's something that you can do. But you gotta find those kind of answers out. Things like you're not allowed to camp on state game lands unless you're hiking through the Appalachian Trail corridor, and technically you're supposed to be a hiker then, not a hunter, because they don't want campsites. But on state forest, you can really mostly primitive camp wherever you want, as long as you're not staying in a site longer than one night and permit this and that, right? So there's some things that could be cleared up, but as far as it goes, you can pull up into a state game lands parking lot, and the regulations for that state game lands are posted there.
Yeah,
and it is not hard to find access to these places. No.
Yeah, we have 1.5 million acres of state game lands, and like I think another 2.2 million acres of state forests. Like and then you have the Allegheny National Forest, which is like I think another like 500,000 acres. Like there's
it's like 4.5 or 4 million acres total or something.
Yeah, like an insane amount of public land that you can have access to here. It's great.
Yeah. And the bucks just keep getting bigger here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good things. Like I guess. I really got bit by the bird dog thing hard this year because I got a new pup.
Yeah.
And he did great. I've never grouse hunted in my life.
Oh, right? Really?
We've just spent time pheasant hunting and stuff.
Yeah.
And we went shed hunting up in the in that northwest corner this year, and he didn't learn how to point the grouse yet, but we flushed 30 grouse.
Wow.
And I thought, where I live, kind of south central, southeast, whatever, I thought we had a decent number of grouse here.
Yeah.
Because I'll flush, 4 or 5 when I'm out scouting or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I don't have grouse where I live.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's cool because, after that trip, I kind of looked and, like biologists keeping track of that kind of thing. The grouse numbers were good this year. Yeah. A good nesting year 1 or 2 years ago or whatever. But Pennsylvania is a pretty game-rich state
Yeah.
when we're talking about public land, especially. And there's plenty of private land is getting harder and harder, but there's still farmers and this kind of thing that will give you knock-on-door permission. You know, you just have to knock on quite a few, but you know, the predator hunting thing is getting big, and I did a little circuit this year and found I think I actually got 5 yeses on 8 doors this year.
That's nice.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so people,
good,
there's people that are willing to give you permission. You just got to keep knocking on doors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And be okay with people saying no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, 2 things. One, I grew up hunting grouse. That's the only thing I hunted till I was 30. That's what my dad did. I didn't pick up deer till I was 30, and I didn't pick up a bow till I was 40. So,
wow.
So I'm on the other end. I'm on the opposite track to you with grouse. But with some of the Sunday hunting bill, there's companion bills that are coming out that are setting up, and I don't have the numbers. I don't know if they're actually dropped yet. But where they're trying to set up programs to match hunters with farmers that need deer taken care of.
Oh, that's great.
And there's a package of bills that are kind of companion to that Sunday hunting bill, which is helping that hopefully move through the House.
Because that's one of the big resistance things is the Farm Bureau. Yeah.
They've gone neutral on it, so that has really helped.
Okay.
But they're getting this in exchange. They're getting what they need is help with crop damage. So there's some legislation with that. And the Game Commission is rolling out. I didn't see the program, but I think John Klein was telling me about it. I don't know if they're gonna roll it out or if they're just exploring the idea of a master hunter certification. Where basically it's like a background check, and you take an extra course of something, so that you can get on the list, so that the farmers feel better about you having access to their land, so you can get into the registry. I don't know how close that is to fruition, but they were presenting it at the last game commissioners meeting.
Yeah. So this is not just an organization trying to knock down doors and be like, we're having Sunday hunting because we want it. Like there's some give and take on it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I said we've been, I can't tell you how many hours we've spent like at the Capitol in the last 7 years, just having discussions with people all over the place,
Enough to knock your head against the wall, I guess.
Oh yeah. Well, I stopped there in the beginning in the entranceway to the Capitol building. There's a spot that said, "Here stood Teddy Roosevelt when he dedicated the building." So I stop there every day and I go, "Okay, that's why I'm here." Like that's that's kind of the legacy I'm trying to keep going.
Yeah.
And I take a deep breath and go in, but yeah, those are things that we're doing. You don't see the work a lot, but it's getting done. It's getting done every day. Like there's a lot of hours behind. When an action alert comes out, there's probably, I don't know how many, like 100 hours of work behind that before we get to the point where we ask people to call.
Yeah.
Because we kind of time it with when we'll coordinate with legislators. Like, when do you need us to back your bill?
Yeah.
And send it out that way.
So why don't you tell people how they can help support these bills?
Yeah. One thing is just send an email or pick up your phone and call your representative and your state rep and your state senator. Don't call your federal. Don't call Senator McCormick or Senator Fetterman because they have nothing to do with it. And don't call your congressman from Washington, but your state and Senate and representative. And you can send an email. A phone call really, really means a lot. And you can call after hours and just leave a message. And if you don't want to talk to somebody, and you can do that in under 90 seconds.
Yeah.
You can also, like, we also make it very easy at Backcountry Hunters. Backcountryhunters.org is our website, and you can go to the Pennsylvania chapter, and it has a list of events and a list of legislative issues, and there'll be links to action alerts there. And you can just take one click, and it'll send the email for you.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, I remember you got that Backcountry Hunters you guys have done like prefabbed emails for people to just kind of use as well.
Yeah. So if you're on the email list, you'll get that when something comes out, and you can a couple clicks and it'll send it for you.
Yeah. This is great stuff.
Yeah.
How can people get involved with BHA?
You can find us on the website, backcountryhunters.org. You can join the email list or become a member, and either way, you'll get linked into what we're doing. We also have an Instagram account, which is BHA_PA, I think.
Yep. Yeah, that's
it. And I like every third time I say it backwards, and people like it. And in the Facebook page, Pennsylvania chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. All those things will get linked into what we're doing. If you see an event we're having, just show up. They're the friendliest group of people you're going to meet. It's a very welcoming group. And when you walk in, like we have people that will go off on their own in like grizzly infested country and shoot an elk and take it out by themselves. And we have people who just bought their first fishing or hunting license, and they all get along in the same room. Like it's the whole spectrum of people, but they kind of get together because they love hunting and fishing. They really appreciate our public lands, and they've got a commitment to conservation. So whether it's calling a legislator or picking up a piece of trash or taking somebody out, we're just getting together and having a good time and swapping stories.
I mean that's what we really all do it for is the stories in the long run. But if you want those stories, then you need to do your part in supporting it is what you love, you know.
I will never be able to pay back all that I've gotten out of the outdoors. This is just I'm trying to make my ledger a little more even.
I hear that. Well, Don, we have been on for about an hour, and I want to thank you for coming on and enjoying a talk with me. And we're gonna talk a little bit about some stuff off air because we have some personal catching up to do.
I appreciate having you on. I'm really enjoying the podcast.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
I'm 3/4 through your catalog, so
excellent. Thank you so much, Don.
No problem. Thank you. Take care,
buddy. You too. There you have it, everyone. We've heard from Don Rank. Go head over to backcountryhunters.org and sign yourself up for a membership. Maybe get in touch with your representatives and talk about these bills that are on the table. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode and listening to such a cool, fulfilling story with 4 friends who really got it done in an out-of-state hunt. And go grill something good because it's just, we're in May. It's grilling season, you know? So anyway, enjoy some fishing, enjoy some turkey hunting. This is In Camp Podcast.